Thank you, dear friend, for being here today. In this episode, I am going to give you straightforward yet effective advice to help you deliver a confident English presentation. Have you ever felt your mind go completely blank the moment all eyes are on you? Do you wish you could share your ideas clearly and confidently without fear holding you back? I will show you how to structure your material, how to practice in a way that truly works, and how to manage your anxiety when it's time to present. And naturally, I will provide you with helpful English phrases that you can incorporate into your own presentation. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to English Unleashed. My name is Tom. We've reached that time of year once more. Yes, it's the back to school season. Perhaps you're heading to a new school, starting another year at the university, or maybe you're enrolling in an English course. This is an exciting time, but it also comes with its own set of challenges. And for countless students, one of the greatest hurdles is this: giving a presentation in English. Perhaps this feeling is familiar to you. You're sitting in the classroom, and the instructor announces that next week you will be giving a presentation. Instantly, you feel anxious. You start thinking, oh no, I can't stand speaking in front of a crowd. My English isn't strong enough. Everyone is going to be staring at me. I'm going to forget what I need to say. If that sounds like you, rest assured you are not alone. Even native speakers get anxious before giving a presentation. Even seasoned professional speakers sometimes experience fear before they step onto the stage. The distinction is this: they understand how to prepare, how to practice, and how to deliver their presentation with confidence. And that is precisely what we are going to learn today. By the conclusion of this episode, you will not just understand the steps to giving a presentation, you will feel prepared to stand up straight and say, yes, I am capable of this. All right, let's start with the first step: preparation. If you prepare thoroughly, you have already won half the battle. Okay? Preparation gives you a sense of security. It's like possessing a detailed map before setting out on a long journey. The first element of preparation is truly knowing your subject matter. Do not simply copy and paste information from the internet or a book. It is crucial that you understand what you are discussing. For instance, if your subject is climate change, don't just memorize figures about temperature increases or carbon dioxide levels. Numbers are useful, but they are not sufficient on their own. Ask yourself, can I explain this concept simply using my own words? Could I explain it to a friend who has no background in science? If you are able to do that, then you are prepared. The second element is creating a clear structure. Every effective presentation contains a beginning, a middle, and an end. Without a structure, your presentation can feel like a road without any signs. Your audience will get lost, but with a solid structure, your listeners can relax. They understand where they are, and they know the path you are taking them on. Okay, so how do you build this structure? It is quite simple. In the beginning, you introduce who you are and what your topic is. In the middle section, you present your main points. 2 or 3 points are typically sufficient. And at the end, you offer a brief summary and express your thanks. As an example, you could say, hello, my name is Tom. Today I am going to talk about social media. First, I will define what social media is. Second, I will cover some of its advantages. Third, I will discuss some of its problems. Finally, I will offer my personal opinion and conclude with a quick summary. You can see how simple and clear that is. The audience immediately understands your outline, and when they know your plan, it is easier for them to follow along. The third element of preparation is to create notes, not complete sentences. A common mistake many students make is writing out every single word of their presentation. Then, on presentation day, they just stand there and read from a piece of paper. This is incredibly boring for the people watching, and it can make you sound robotic. Instead, just write down keywords, notes, and short phrases. This approach helps you remember your points while still allowing you to speak in a natural way. For example, rather than writing, "Today I will talk about the advantages and disadvantages of online learning," you could simply write, "Online learning, pros and cons." Your notes are just meant to be reminders. The true impact comes from your voice, your own words, and your engagement with the audience. Okay, let's now proceed to the second step, practice. Preparation provides you with the material, but it is practice that builds your confidence. So what are some ways you can practice? First, you need to practice speaking out loud, okay? Don't just review it silently in your mind. Open your mouth. Actually use your voice, because the classroom doesn't exist in your head. The classroom is a real place. You have to train your tongue, your lips, and your entire body. Stand in front of a mirror and deliver your presentation. Observe your face. Do you appear angry? Do you look scared? Make an effort to smile. Pay attention to your body. Are your arms rigid? Try to loosen them up. The mirror is your ally. It provides you with honest feedback. Second, you can make a recording of yourself using your phone. Listen to it carefully. Are you speaking too quickly? Too slowly? Do you sound clear and articulate? This is one of the most effective exercises because it allows you to be your own instructor. You can hear your own mistakes and then correct them. Third, give the shadowing technique a try. Shadowing involves listening to a skilled speaker and then repeating what they say. You can find short presentations on YouTube or in TED Talks. Play for 10 seconds, pause the video, and then repeat what was said. Imitate their rhythm. Imitate their tone. This practice will improve your pronunciation and help your English to sound more natural. Fourth, practice your presentation with a friend or a member of your family. Ask them to listen. Say to them, "Could you please ask me one or two questions when I'm finished?" This will get you ready for the actual moment when your teacher or your classmates have questions for you. And always remember, you are not expected to have every single answer. It is perfectly fine to say, "That's a great question. I don't have the answer right now, but I will look into it and get back to you." The more you practice, the more self-assured you will become. Confidence is not a magical gift. It is the result of practice. Now let's discuss the actual day of your presentation, the big day. You walk into the classroom, you see everyone looking at you, and you start to feel nervous. What can you do? First, breathe deeply. Before you begin, take one single deep breath. Inhale slowly. Exhale slowly. This action sends a signal to your body. Calm down. Okay. Second, stand tall. Don't try to hide. Don't stare at the floor. Stand up straight with your feet slightly apart. This posture makes you appear confident, even if you are feeling anxious on the inside. And when you project confidence, you often start to actually feel more confident. Third, smile and offer a greeting. A smile is a powerful tool. It helps your classmates to feel at ease, and it makes you feel more positive. Start with a simple greeting. Good morning, everyone. My name is Tom. Today I am going to talk about, okay. Fourth, use simple sentences. Many students believe they need to use very complex English to make a good impression on the teacher. However, simple English is often more effective. It is easier for you to say, and it is easier for your audience to understand. For instance, instead of saying, the consequences of social media usage are multifaceted and sometimes detrimental, you could just say, social media has many effects. Some are good and some are bad. It is as simple as that. So clear English is confident English. Now, a presentation involves more than just words. It is also about your body language and your voice. As you speak, try to look at your audience, not at the floor and not just at your notes. If you are feeling nervous, find friendly faces in the crowd to look at, or look at a spot just above people's heads. It gives the impression of eye contact but can feel less intimidating. Use your hands in a natural way. Don't hide them in your pockets. Don't cross your arms. If you are unsure of what to do with them, just allow them to rest at your sides. Your voice is also very important. Avoid speaking too fast. Many students who are nervous tend to speak like a speeding train. Okay? Slow yourself down. Use pauses. Pauses are very powerful. They give your audience a moment to process what you've said, and they give you a moment to breathe. Additionally, try to vary your tone. If you speak in one continuous, flat voice, people will get bored. Show a bit of energy. If a point is particularly important, raise your voice slightly. If you are discussing something serious, slow your pace down a little. Okay, now I'd like to provide you with some practical phrases that you can incorporate into your presentation. For your opening, you can say, "Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here." Or, "Today I would like to talk about," or, "My presentation is divided into three parts. First, I will talk about. Second, I will explain. And third, I will discuss." Now, for transitioning to your next point, you can use these two phrases. Now, let's look at the second point, or, "Next, I will explain." Okay, for providing examples, you can use "for example," or "one clear example is." And for finishing your talk, you can use these phrases, "To summarize, we have seen that," or "In conclusion, my opinion is." And at the very end, you can say, "Thank you very much for listening." These simple phrases are like tools. If you use them, your presentation will sound more organized and professional. Okay, my friends, in this episode, I've covered preparation, practice, staying calm on the day of the presentation, using body language, and some useful English phrases. Remember, confidence isn't something you are born with. Confidence is something you develop each time you prepare and each time you practice. Every time you speak, you get a little bit stronger. Thank you so much for joining me today on English Unleashed. Going beyond the basics, mastering your Q&A and visual aids. Now that we have built a strong foundation covering preparation, practice, and the core delivery of your presentation, let's explore two areas that can transform a good presentation into a truly great one. Many presenters feel that their job is done when they say thank you. However, what often follows is one of the most challenging yet valuable parts of the entire experience, the question and answer session, or Q&A. Furthermore, in today's world, most presentations involve visual aids, like slides. How you design and use these tools can either significantly enhance your message or become a major distraction. Let's dive deep into mastering these two crucial elements. Part 1. Conquering the question and answer. Q&A. Session. The moment you ask, "Are there any questions?" can feel intimidating. Your heart might start beating faster again. But I want you to change your perspective on the Q&A. A question is a gift. It means your audience was engaged, they were listening, and they are curious to learn more. It is not a test. It is a conversation. It's your opportunity to clarify your points, reinforce your message, and connect even more deeply with your listeners. Here's how you can handle it with confidence. First, anticipate and prepare. Just as you practice your main speech, you should practice for the Q&A. Think critically about your topic from the audience's perspective. What parts might be confusing? What might be controversial? What are the logical next questions someone might ask? Make a list of 10 to 15 potential questions. Then practice answering them out loud. Pay special attention to the questions you don't want to be asked. Preparing for the toughest questions will make you feel ready for anything. Second, adopt a clear strategy for answering. A simple and professional method is the ACE technique. Acknowledge, clarify, execute. Acknowledge, begin by acknowledging the person in the question. Simple phrases like, "That's an excellent question," or "Thank you for bringing that up," show respect and give your brain a few valuable seconds to process the query. It creates a positive and collaborative atmosphere. Clarify, if necessary. Sometimes questions can be long, complex, or unclear. To ensure you are answering what the person is actually asking, it's okay to rephrase it. You can say, "So if I'm understanding you correctly, you're asking about," or "Are you asking specifically about the short-term or long-term effects?" This prevents misunderstandings and shows you are listening carefully. Execute. Provide a clear and concise answer. Avoid rambling or going off topic. Your prepared notes on potential questions can be very helpful here. Deliver your answer directly to the person who asked, but then make eye contact with other parts of the audience as you finish, making the answer relevant to everyone. Third, know how to handle difficult situations. You won't always get easy questions. What if you don't know the answer? It's perfectly acceptable. Honesty is always better than inventing an answer. Use the confident phrase we mentioned earlier. "That's a very good question. I don't have that specific information with me right now, but I would be happy to look into it and follow up with you after the presentation." What if someone asks a hostile or aggressive question? The key is to remain calm and professional. Do not get defensive. Address the issue, not the emotion. You can say, "I understand your concern, and I appreciate you sharing that perspective." The data we have suggests this approach validates their right to ask while keeping you in control of the conversation. Part 2. Designing and using visual aids that help, not hurt. In many school and work environments, a presentation means using slides, such as PowerPoint or Google Slides. A common mistake is to create slides that are crowded, confusing, and distracting. Remember this golden rule. Your slides are there to support you, not to replace you. You are the main event. The slides are just your backup singers. The most important principle of slide design is simplicity. The human brain cannot effectively read a slide and listen to a speaker at the same time. Therefore, your slides should contain minimal text. Forget writing full paragraphs. Instead, use keywords and short phrases. A popular guideline is the 6x6 rule. Aim for no more than 6 lines of text on a slide and no more than 6 words per line. This forces you to identify the most critical ideas. When it comes to visuals, choose high-quality, relevant images. One powerful and emotionally resonant photograph is far more effective than 10 small, low-quality pictures. Avoid generic clip art, which can make your presentation look dated and unprofessional. If you are presenting data, make your charts and graphs as simple as possible. Each graph should have one clear message. Label everything clearly with a large font so that people in the back of the room can easily read it. Maintain a consistent and professional design. Choose a simple, clean template. Use the same one or two fonts and a consistent color scheme throughout your entire presentation. High contrast is essential for readability. Dark text on a light background or light text on a dark background works best. Avoid distracting animations, like words spinning onto the screen, unless they serve a very specific purpose to illustrate a point. A simple appear or fade animation is usually all you need. Finally, think about how you interact with your visuals. Never turn your back on the audience to read from the screen. This breaks your connection with them. You should know your material well enough that you only need to glance at the screen as a reminder. Stand to the side, maintaining an open posture towards your listeners. When you refer to something on the slide, use a laser pointer or gesture towards it to guide the audience's attention. Time your clicks carefully. Bring up the next slide right as you begin to speak about that new topic. This creates a smooth and professional flow, keeping your audience perfectly in sync with your message. By dedicating time to prepare for the Q&A and to thoughtfully design your visual aids, you add powerful new layers to your presentation skills. You show your audience that you respect their time, value their intellectual curiosity, and are a confident, well-prepared communicator. I'm Tom, and I truly hope these tips help you feel self-assured for your next presentation, whether it's in school, at university, or at any other point in your life. Until we meet again, keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Bye for now.